This video contains helpful information on refugee claim hearings. More details and updates are available on our website, irb.gc.ca. When you make a refugee protection claim in Canada, you are responsible for providing the evidence that supports your claim. These documents will support your claim at your refugee hearing. This video will help you understand how to gather and provide your evidence to the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada's Refugee Protection Division, or RPD. But you don't have to do this alone. First, let's look at who may help you through the refugee claim process. Consider hiring a professional to help you through the refugee claim process. These professionals are called counsel. They may be lawyers or immigration consultants. In some places, you can also hire a notary public or a paralegal as counsel. If you want to hire counsel, you should do it as soon as possible. You will be responsible for paying your counsel unless you are eligible to receive help from a legal aid agency in your province. If you have counsel, they will represent you at your hearing. Before your hearing, they will discuss your refugee claim with you and advise you on what evidence you should gather and provide to support your claim. If you decide to ask a friend, family member, or volunteer to represent you, they cannot charge you a fee. In this situation, the person must complete the Notice of Representation Without a Fee or Other Consideration form. You can find this form in the Refugee Claims section of the IRB website under Forms. You do not have to be represented by anyone. Representing yourself means that you must choose what evidence to present and what arguments to make to support your claim. When you made your claim for refugee protection, you spoke to an officer from the Canada Border Services Agency or from Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, who decided if your refugee claim was eligible to be referred to the RPD. If you arrived at a port of entry, such as an airport or border crossing, you were provided a basis of claim form and sent this completed form to the RPD. If you made your refugee claim when you were already in Canada, you provided your completed basis of claim form to Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. If your claim was eligible, the officer sent your form to the RPD. No matter where you made your claim for refugee protection, the purpose of the basis of claim form is the same. It is what you use to present your refugee protection claim. The questions on the basis of claim form are meant to help you include the most important parts of your story, your life experiences, and your reasons for claiming refugee protection in Canada. The RPD uses that information to make a decision about your claim, so it is very important for everything on your basis of claim form to be complete, true, and correct. After you send in your basis of claim form, you must also send in documents that support your refugee protection claim. These documents are called evidence. It's possible that you may not have been able to get all or even any of your evidence before leaving your country. But now that you are in Canada, it is important to start gathering your evidence. You need to submit evidence as soon as possible on your claim and no later than 10 days before your hearing date. Do not wait until the deadline to submit your evidence. If you need to send evidence less than 10 days before your hearing, you will need to ask for permission. Permission is only granted in special circumstances. You will need to fill out an application to submit late disclosure, which you can find on the IRB website. Sending in your documents early helps the RPD decide when to schedule your hearing or if your claim may be accepted without a hearing. Let's take a closer look at the two types of evidence that are used to assess your claim. One is information about the conditions in your country, and the other is personal documents. You are seeking Canada's protection against a country where you are saying that you fear persecution. To properly assess your claim, the decision maker in your case needs to know about the conditions in your country. They will look at something called a National Documentation Package, or NDP. NDPs are collections of publicly available documents that report on a country's political, social, cultural, economic, and human rights conditions. Conditions in a country often change, so NDPs are updated regularly. The member assigned to your claim will look at the information in the NDP for your country when they make a decision on your claim. It is important for you to review your country's NDP on the IRB's website. Since the IRB already has the evidence in the NDP, you don't need to send us any documents found in the NDP for your country. However, there may be documents about your country that are not included in the NDP. If you want to submit these extra documents to support your claim, you can send up to 100 pages. If your claim involves multiple countries, you can submit 100 pages for each country. If you have more than 100 pages for a country, you will need to fill out an application to submit voluminous disclosure, which you can find on the IRB website. There are also some personal documents that you do need to provide to the RPD as soon as possible. When you made your refugee claim in Canada, you should have submitted a copy of your identity and travel documents to the RPD along with your basis of claim form. Examples are documents that show your name and date of birth, like a passport, national identity card, birth certificate, school certificate, driver's license, military document, or a professional or religious membership card. If you did not provide a copy of your identity and travel documents with your basis of claim form, or if you received these documents after you submitted your basis of claim form, you must send a copy to the RPD immediately. Along with identity documents, you can submit other documents to support your refugee claim. Examples are proof of membership in political organizations, medical or psychological reports, police documents, business records, news clippings, or social media posts. Anything that you feel supports your claim. After the decision maker reviews your basis of claim form, the RPD may ask you for specific documents. You need to follow these instructions carefully. If you do not provide identity and personal documents or any of the documents the RPD requests in support of your claim, you will have to explain why you don't have them at your hearing. You will also have to show that you made reasonable efforts to try to get them. Now that you know what evidence to gather, you also need to know how to submit your evidence to the RPD. There are 6 steps to follow. Let's take a closer look at each step. Step 1. Make sure that your documents are in English or in French before submitting them. If they need to be translated from another language, include the translator's declaration and copies of the original documents. Step 2. Put all of your documents together and number the pages in order. Then add a cover page. The IRB has something called a List of Claimants' Documents form that you can use as your cover page. You can find this form in the Refugee Claims section of the IRB website under Forms. You can complete the form online and print it, or create your own cover page using this form as an example. Step 3. Make copies of your entire document package, including the cover page. It is important that you keep a copy of all the documents you send to the RPD so that you can refer to them at your hearing. Step 4. Submit a copy of your documents to the RPD using one of the methods set out on our website. We encourage you to use the My Case portal. Visit the IRB website to see if it is available to you. Step 5. In some cases, the Minister's Counsel participates in a hearing. This is someone different than the person you may have hired as counsel. The Minister's Counsel works for the Canada Border Services Agency, or Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, and represents the Minister of Public Safety and/or the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. If the Minister's Counsel decides to participate, they will let you know by sending you a Notice of Intervention. The Minister's Counsel can participate in writing by submitting evidence to you and the RPD, or they can appear at your hearing and will ask you questions. Remember, even if the Minister's Counsel participates, an RPD member decides your claim. You should get this notice no later than 10 days before your hearing. Their address will be on that notice. If the Minister's Counsel is participating in your hearing, you must send a copy of your evidence to them and let the RPD know that you have done so. And the last step is step 6. Bring all of your documents to your hearing, including copies and originals. Those are the 6 steps you must take when submitting your documents to the IRB's Refugee Protection Division. For up-to-date information on the refugee claim process, go to IRB's website or call our toll-free number at 1-833-931-5121 for general inquiries. You can also scan the QR code on screen to visit our Contact Us page, where you will find information on where to submit documents and how to reach us if you have any questions.